So when you look at this, you notice that Alternative for Deutschland is the second largest party in Germany. And it seems that if you get too popular, the government just bans you. Like, it's a tradition. I think the Nazis did the same to CDU, right? So it's a conservative mindset to ban popular parties in Germany, especially to save democracy. No, unironically, like, they're looking at the American and they're just copy pasting shit. Like their politicians aren't even capable of coming up with new slogans and stuff. Like, they're just taking the Democrat rhetoric. It's like, we're saving the democracy by banning the second largest party. Brilliant. What happens with the people that don't get represented? Because that's what it is in a democracy, right? Like, it's not the party that's the problem, it's the people that are voting for the party. Like, in your nation, you have these bizarre things called citizens, and they have various grievances. It's not that the politicians instill the grievances upon them. No, like, they choose politicians to air their grievances. So you're basically telling all those people, like, no, fuck you, there is no alternative. There's no alternative for Deutschland. Like, you think, like, when you go to vote, you actually have a say in it. No. Like, when you go to vote, you vote for mass migration, you vote for green energy, you vote for the European Union, and of course, sometimes politicians may make blunders like the Nord Stream pipeline, which made Germany's energy dependent on Russia, but you don't get to punish those politicians. Who the fuck do you think you are? Like, you don't get to hold them accountable or anything like that. No. Is the crime too high? Shut the fuck up. It's none of your concern, right? You go there and you vote for these parties. Like, these are the only ones that the state allows you to vote for. This brown one is shit. You don't get to vote for it. The very fact that people in Eastern Europe would look towards Western Europe as a beacon of democracy, freedom, and human rights is beyond laughable. You know, like they look towards us and they talk about corruption. None of our Eastern European countries are doing this shit. Even Viktor Orban doesn't pull this shit. Has Russia pulled something like this? I genuinely don't know. Like, I usually know that Russia, like Putin does arrest political opponents, sometimes assassinates them. Like, I don't, but like, to ban an entire party, I don't think he did that. I will have to check. I genuinely don't know. So, like, please correct me if I'm wrong. Like, do I have any people from that know Russian? Like, do they do it over there? Do they ban entire political parties? Holy shit. I've never heard about this before. Like, sometimes it can happen if it's like a fringe group, right? But definitely not before an election, and definitely not the second biggest party. And definitely not to save democracy. So, anyway, why haven't they done it yet? Well, apparently they're afraid. They're afraid that by banning it, it will make it more popular than ever. Wow, you think? You think like that? Is that what's going to happen? They haven't learned anything, because if you look at the history of the AfD, you'll notice that some of their members got intimidated, their cars were set on fire, the government refused in some cases to keep their names anonymous. This happened like within the last 4 years or so. I saw on The Guardian like one of their leaders got beaten up and hospitalized. I mean, that type of shit. Wasn't there like a bomb at one of their HQ? Yeah. That's to save democracy. Like, all of these things. This is like how Germans do debate in their politics. Again, like, it's very foreign to us here in Eastern Europe. We just don't behave that way. We don't understand the German system. Is it better than ours or worse? Like, should we adopt it? Holy hell. Anyway, in order for the ban to work, they need a simple majority. And it's going to then be taken to the Supreme Court of the land, which I've noticed that usually passes favorable decisions towards the establishment. So, yeah, they could actually get banned. The reason they hate the AfD is because if you're an American, you don't understand the multi-party system, right? Like, you're looking at this and it's like, well, why are there 6 parties here? Like, why can't they have 2? Or 3, like in America, because a lot of people forget that the libtards exist. The way it works is that you go to vote. And you vote based on the party that you believe represents you the most, right? Now after the vote is done, the parties get various percentages. And they form coalitions. And the coalition requires a lot of negotiation. It's basically, you get the Ministry of Finance, and in exchange we get this. right? Sometimes there's frictions, they don't agree with each other. But the difficulty here is that the AfD is becoming so big that it's very difficult for the other parties to make coalitions without it. And they like to LARP and to pretend that the AfD are these very evil, very unnegotiable people. Like their positions are so untenable that you can't even have a debate, which is, again, when you think about it, it's not the politicians, but it's the people voting for them. So you're basically suggesting that around 20% of your citizens are so out of touch that you can't even have a debate with them. Like, again, this would work if you have, like, Die Linke here, like 3.5. You know, okay, well, 3.5% of your citizens, you consider that their grievances should be ignored and not even addressed. But when it's 20%, it's 20 fucking percent of your people that, come on. Really? You cannot find common ground with 20%. And from what I noticed in German elections, like, the AfD are the only right-wing party. And again, right-wing for Germany. Like, if you go in Hungary and you look at the AfD policies, they will probably be considered left. Their economic policies are left. I mean, compared to the Republicans, if they think that the AfD are extremists, well, it's no wonder that they're absolutely terrified of the MAGA party. And it's like, oh, Elon Musk, enemy number 2. Is this because they blew up the pipeline? Is this why? Maybe. You don't like America, but you like NATO. You like getting security for free without having to pay for. Oh, that's great. I mean, they do pay for it. They pay like 2% of their, a lot. But anyway, right? So will it pass? I don't know. So far, they haven't decided. But the very fact that they're even mentioning it, let's assume that the next elections, the AfD manages to get 32.5. Like, they pissed off so many people that they're like, you know what, fine, let's... Should the AfD then ban you all? Like, should they start banning and call you extremists? I mean, they shouldn't they? Because they would have a precedent. Like you actually created the precedent where a political party can just decide, no, you know what, these guys are extremists. We're not going to work with them, and they... would that be nice? Is that how democracy gets right? My favorite take is arguing with Germans on Twitter. Holy shit. Like, there was this guy, and he was basically saying that, because I asked him, it's like, okay, so who should the people be represented by? It's like, well, the other parties. Like, the other parties should... What the fuck? So like, do you not see a conflict of interest here? Just a tiny one? Like, what you're saying is that if the other parties muscle in and ban the right, which basically is the AfD, because there's no other party that's right-wing in Germany. Correct me if I'm wrong. Like, name me other parties that would be for nationalism, for German national. I know, good gracious, but like, come on, World War II is over. Like, can we actually pretend we're like a semi-normal country? Like, when can that happen? When can that happen? When you can pretend that, you know what, the purpose of the government is that of the citizens because the citizens pay for the government. Like, can we have like that conversation, or is it too? Why did East Germany manage to win? I mean, the one with the communism. Why wasn't the capitalism enforced? Do you know, like, the mindset that they have? They generally view entrepreneurs and like evil capitalists, like parasitic capitalists. What the fuck is that mindset? But anyway, right. I was talking with that guy on Twitter, and I was telling him, it's like, look, how are the people going to be represented? It's like, well, the other parties can pick. Like, who is going to represent the AfD? Like, the Grüne? Really? And just so you know, like, talking about saving democracy, every single month on Twitter, you get to see videos of some person, like a book author or someone like that, that's holding a speech, and the police just comes in and arrests him because he spoke. He had opinions. He articulated shit. And it's like, wow. How are you guys different than China at this point? Why do I even bring China? How are you different than the UK? I mean, there will come a time when you gotta say, well, when it comes to European nations that don't really care about human rights, UK number 1, Germany probably a close number 2. Which one was the one that wanted to arrest people for not getting vaccinated? I think it may have been Austria. Look, I'm mixing my Germanys. Austria is the one with the painter, right? I just... Look, it's European history, right? But anyway, very disappointing. It's disappointing because Germany is in the European Union, and their mindset affects the European Union and indirectly affects Eastern Europe. Like if they want to do this shit and they wouldn't have a say in the way Eastern Europe is ran, I wouldn't care. I'd be like, you know what, like you want to ban political parties to save democracy, you go for it. But like this is the mindset that they send people in the EU that then make legislations for the rest of it. I see. Just so you know, in Germany, like there was a guy that got in trouble because he called a politician from the Grüne fat. You can't insult the politicians in Germany, right? Is it a monarchy yet? Do you guys get a Kaiser? Do you like do you have like the aristocracy and it's like right? Interesting. So if people don't like that and they want to vote for an alternative, they're not allowed, right? You can't insult the politicians. You can't vote them out. What can you do? How do you protest? Like what if you genuinely don't like the way the country is ran? What is the option? Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you in the comment section. Take care.